Is my friend Kim.
And hello, everyone in Instagram and in Facebook world. Look at that. We timed it perfectly this week.
Amazing. Amazing how it happens. Sometimes it does.
Yes.
Not always.
Yes.
But we try to do our best.
All right. And welcome to episode number 33. And Happy New Year. We hope everyone had a wonderful holiday break. I know I did. Vita, I miss doing these with you on
I
Fridays.
missed you too. I know. I mean, it was a nice break and it was great to get away from everything and be together with the family.
Yes.
Hey, Kimberly, Happy New Year to you too. But here we are, first week back. And of course, it's a crazy week. And we're back on. And I missed you too, Kim. It's going to be a great year full of awesome episodes on window treatments.
Absolutely. So we wanted to kick off this first week of 2021 with some of our favorite installs of 2020. So we're going to highlight some of those for you right now.
Without further ado, here we go. Kimberly, this is one of yours.
So this was an install that we did for House of Funk. This was a den project. And what the challenge was here is Sandra really loves to use, she wanted to use one big rod, but didn't want to have multiple brackets because they wanted to have the option of either drawing the drapes open and closed or keeping them stationary. The client, for the most part, is going to keep these panels pretty stationary, but we wanted to have the ability to close them up for her. So the challenge was finding a rod that could expand this distance, and I believe it was about 12 feet. It was a little over 144 inches, and using rings without having to have multiple brackets and C-rings. And so this is a
you have me on the edge of our seat here.
Yes. So it is a company called Campbell Iron Works, and these rods are iron, straight up iron. They're made to order, they're welded, and they can hold the weights. Yes, they can hold the weight. So and we use these a lot with Sandra because she loves this look. She loves the look of a very full drape being with the opportunity to open and close it. And so when it's just there in the stationery, it just has a lot of pleats and it's just very luxurious. So Campbell Iron Works is a really great resource for that. So you have the ability to, at first, the first time I ever used them, I even was like, wait, how far can I go with only one center bracket? Are you sure? And Joan, my contact there, said, absolutely, we can do it at this width. So we use them a lot.
And what's the diameter of the rod?
I want to say it's about 1 1/8 inches.
Okay, so it's fairly thin.
Yep, and they do have really pretty contemporary finials. Now, the thing with this is the finials and everything are all soldered together at the end with the bracket, so it's already attached.
Oh, wow.
So you really have to know your like this is like next level hardware. See, we're 2021. We're bringing it there.
We're leveling it up.
Yes. So with this hardware, you have to really be specific with them and give them like their bracket to bracket dimension, and then take into account the finial. So I knew I had plenty of wall space, so I could play around with it. But just keep in mind when you're ordering like that higher end type of hardware, you have to worry about the like if you're going in between somewhere. Oh, your kids are saying hi, Anna.
They always do. Hi, my love. That's my daughter. For people on Instagram, they're like, who are they talking to? My daughter Anna gets on. This is her school break, like lunch break at school. So she gets on and she always listens to us and she always says hello. Hi, honey. I love you. Sorry.
So, and the other great thing about this collection too is you have a double rod. They also have double rods available. So we've often done it where we've done shears in the back, and that can go in a thinner rod that's about 3/4 of an inch. And
so do you have to make sure when you specify the bracket location, because I'm thinking it's super heavy, you have to make sure that you're going into a stud?
Yes, yes. And with these rods, it is on this particular one because of the width. It is a 2-person install because of the weight and everything else. And and even what's great about I didn't have a good picture of this of the angle, so we also did this type of rod in the other room adjacent to the den, and with that the window butted up to crown, so part of my end brackets had to go on the wall, and my center bracket had to go right on the window molding. So what's great about that is, so they can make, because they make everything, it's all made to order. The projection, we were able to do like a custom projection. It's not one of those, well, our projections are, you know, these are the three measurements that you can choose from. We had to get really specific, and we could say, you know, cut this back and this is what I need. And so it's great.
So making it really difficult for yourself. But the look, the result of it is leveled up.
Yeah, I mean, and now that I've been ordering from them for the past 6 years, it's, you don't even think about it kind of thing. It's just, it's like second nature to me. And what's great is when I do have a challenging situation where I have to go on the wall, and the molding in a very older home, it's very decorative and it comes out and it has all these step ups and repeat and whatnot. They are able to work with us and really make like a custom bracket.
And what about the rings? Are they pre-hooked on the rod? Because I'm thinking you're probably not able to put them on because of the finials already there.
You're able, because the finials are pretty, like this, the one that we used here, it is pretty thin. It's just like a cylinder. So the rings we are able to get on. It all depends.
So they can be on and off.
They can be slid on and off. And that's the thing, the finials, because of where the bracket cups in at the end and the finial sticks out, the bracket, it stops the ring from like anything flying off of the finial. You don't have to worry about that.
So if the bracket is pre-welded onto the rod, how are the rings bypassed?
No, the bracket is the finials are.
Got it. The bracket is separate. Okay, so that you can install the brackets for. Oh, okay, all right. So then I take it back. You don't need to have the stud to stud measurement for the bracket. You can just put the brackets wherever you had wanted.
But because of the weight, though, because of the weight of the rod and the weight of the drape, you do want to go into something heavy so it doesn't bow out. But this is a nice alternative when you want something thin and sleek. So I know you designers out there love the thinner rods. So this is a great
alternative. Need additional brackets is the challenge, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Nicely done, Kim.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. This next project is mine. So now I know what this looks in the context of the whole room, and unfortunately I can't quite show it to you guys because this was an amazing project. And Michelle Plachter is the interior designer for this project. She is one of the leading designers here in the Philadelphia area, with whom we had the privilege to work on 2 really big projects last year. And this is going to be such an amazing project to photograph, so I didn't want to show you the whole context because I don't think I should or I'm allowed to, but I wanted to show you just a little part. And it may not look like much just looking at this one tiny little panel, but let me tell you, there are, I think, 10 of them all around the room, something like that, right? So all together, they make a really impactful statement. That's number one. Number two, the reason this is one of my favorite projects, actually it's one of my favorites and the most dreaded. It was the last installation of 2020. And the reason was that, I shouldn't say dreaded, it was just the most challenging project I have ever worked on in my entire career as a window treatment specialist.
Okay.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna think why, and then I'm gonna hear what you have to say about it.
The reason for it is because of this mesh fabric that you're seeing. I mean, it truly is like, it's like a fishnet. Like, think of a fishnet stocking. And you know, when girls listening to us, like when you take it off, it just kind of like crumbles up to like a ball of nothing. And then you put it on and it stretches to however long your legs are. and that's exactly what was happening with this drape. You know, we sewed it, we hung it, and it went from our desired length of, I don't know, let's say 90 inches to like 115 inches. And then no matter what we did, it was just so difficult to really arrive at the finished length. On top of it, what made it even more challenging is that at the bottom, there's a 5-inch contrasting banding. So essentially, this is a solid black fabric that we banded the hem with. And there's also contrasting banding at the top as well. Now the top actually helped us because it allowed us to put the hooks in fairly easily. as an alternative, we couldn't have put them into the netting at all. So that was the reason for the top banding. So that was fine. The bottom banding, in addition to the fabric stretching out on its own, this heavy, I mean, actually the band at the bottom wasn't heavy, but by comparison to the fabric, it really kept stretching it out. So it was just so difficult. We ended up taking all these panels, hanging them, not at the client's, ultimately not at the client's house, but elsewhere in the workroom, and hemming it while it was hanging. So you can imagine how much like labor and work and just heart palpitations. I swear to God, I lost 5 years of my life working on this, just trying to make sure that, you know, everything is just so even and so perfect. In the end, it turned out beautiful, and Michelle really liked it, and the client really liked it, and the whole look of it. Eventually, I'm really hoping to participate with Michelle in photographing it, and we can show you the whole project and the full thing. I mean, the whole interior of this house is just phenomenal, and these drapes, just think of it like all the fabrication woes aside, just the kind of the beauty of it and how original it is and how unique and just really something so different. Like I said, I've never done anything like that before. It was just really quite phenomenal. So the look turned out really great. And therefore, it's my favorite project. One of them for 2020.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing with these big mesh like fabrics. I call them like the cargo net kind of fabrics. Designers, clients, we always have to have some type of band on top to make some type of hem. It can't just be raw because we have no place to put a drapery hook, a snap, and whatnot. I mean, like you said, with the stretch, there's nowhere for us to sew to actually make it into a pleat if you're doing a pleat or anything, or putting a hook or whatever. So we always need that top band at the top. And sometimes, depending on how open the weave is, you need something at the bottom in order to make a hem at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, the good thing, the side hems didn't have banding, so we were able to run it through the blind stitch. And I suppose we could have done it at the bottom as well, and it would have been a little bit easier. I mean, it still would have stretched a lot, and so that band did present quite a challenge. But I also understand why the designer wanted to do it. The baseboard molding is about 5 inches or so, and it's black. So, and the whole house is very much a black and white type of contrast. There's a lot of various
so it's
contrasts.
a nice detail.
Yeah. So voila.
Okay.
You do your next one. Here we go.
So this one is a project that we did for Ellie Moreau's Designs out of Westfield. This is a client. We finished this up in December, so right before or end of November, excuse me.
Late at night, I see. You can tell by the black windows.
Yes.
I know those photographs. I really do. When the flash just like flashes back at you as you take a picture.
But you know what? The pictures come out so much better at night.
I hear you. Oh my gosh. Like those little nuances that Kim, nobody else would ever notice except for you and I.
Yeah. So I think they finished this up around like 6 o'clock on a Friday.
Yep.
But I was like, oh wow, the pictures came out great. So with this install, we had the challenge because the ceiling, the arch window did go up, and then the ceiling did come down. So the ceiling had a couple of different heights to it. So we wanted to bring the rod up as high as we possibly could go, and then as wide as we can go. Now it's hard to tell here, but there is crown molding that is above, like where the ceiling comes down, where there's 2 little square windows to the left and the right, and there is a crown molding that goes there. So our rod actually goes even wider into those windows. So this way we could really maximize the width of that arch window. You can't tell because of the chandelier, but that window is an arch window. Right. So, and then it was trying to get the rod above the arch and to clear it. And this is an actual like fully functioning drape as well. Wow. So, so, and it's on a wood pole. We did a wood pole here.
So do tell how you attached it. Is it like levitating? Like what's happening there?
No. So what happens is the ceiling it meets the wall. So what Billy did was he pushed it as high as he possibly could install it.
Oh, it's still on the wall. Okay, I thought it was on the ceiling.
On the wall.
You created
No.
Got it.
But that's what it looks like because of how the way we angled it and everything else. And by pushing it up as high as you could possibly go, it kind of looks like, where is this rod floating from? And yeah, and at first, and we weren't afraid to go kind of into that ceiling line where it folds in, so we were just like, nope, we're going to make it as wide as we possibly can make it, where the panels are touching on either side of those windows, and we didn't mind interrupting that ceiling line.
Right. Nicely done. And the whole schematic is beautiful.
Yeah, it came out great. I wish I could see what the rest of the room looked like, but I never get to really see the final product in person, unfortunately.
All right. Okay. Next one is ours. This was a beautiful project. Whenever I look at it, it just puts a smile on my face. This was so much fun to design, to fabricate, to install, then to see the pictures. I even have a reel. I'm huge into reels on Instagram nowadays. So
is that the reel drape?
That is the real drape. That's right. So, okay. So the designer for this is Z Domus Designs, led by a very talented Rose Zaffarino. She has a staff of additional designers as well. And her specialty is working with custom builders in our area to do their model homes, their specs, and ultimately then afterwards working with end consumers if they want to continue decorating their houses. This particular was a model. This was for Rockwell Custom Homes. This was their DuPont development in Delaware. And this was actually our second model in this development. The first one we did the year prior, and that one sold. And now we have created a new model, and Rose has created a new model, and we've helped her with window treatments. I love, 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 love bold colors in drapery panels. I mean, as much as I can go for some monochromatic looks and florals and whatnot, but you give me a monochromatic look in furniture and decor and some really bold drapes on the windows. I mean, my heart just melts. And if I can also accent it with really pretty border and then put it on a satin gold rod and take it all the way up to the ceiling, I mean, I look at this installation and I truly, I am in love. Everything here, I absolutely love. Love how high they go. I love the gold hardware, which is really all the rage right now, as we know. And Kelly Green is coming back. We've done several projects with Kelly Green color in general. And but any bold color would have done here. I mean, hot pink, hot yellow, black,
right?
Any bold color to contrast the monochromatic look. But of course, the Kelly Green is the, I guess, supposedly newest, hottest color because, like I said, we've done some projects. So anyway, I'm just totally in love. It just makes me so happy. It brings a joy. It just makes me feel very joyous when I look at this picture.
So I saw this on your reels. Is the band made from trim, or is that a wrapped band from fabric?
It's wrapped band from fabric. So we use contrasting fabric. And actually what we're not seeing here is on the left. So this is more like the dining room area. There are two valances, and the valances were made out of the patterned fabric that we used for the banding on the panels.
See how we can kind of, because I kind of saw it in the, how you can connect the dots. So don't be afraid of using pattern in one end and then carrying that pattern over to the panel. So nicely done.
Once you see what I've done here, go back into my feed and take a look at that reel. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So this is a master bedroom redo that we did for a longtime client here of Window Works. We actually took down what we had previously done because they were giving their bedroom a little bit of a refresh. So they had a inverted box pleated valance, drapes, the operable drapes, operable shears, and duets underneath. So it was a lot of layers happening underneath there. And when I went up to see the client and say, you know what, it's just like, I just want to make it simple. I want to trim it down. So we did, but because the duets underneath are motorized duets were blackout, and needed it darker to sleep, it has to be it had to be a 3-layer kind of combo to cut the light gaps on the side and the light gaps that come above. So it looks like the cornices are to the ceiling. They're not. There's a built-in to the right of the windows that has a crown. So they line up with the crown.
Nice.
And so, yeah, so we lined those up with the crown. Instead of doing fully operable drapes, we just did 2 pairs of stationary panels that I blackout lined to help cut the light bleed. And then we just did, again, motorized honeycombs underneath that from a click of a button. They go up and down. And so there's the pair of windows on the side of the house and the pair of windows in the front of the house that have the same, they're a little smaller in scale, the ones in the, but it looks exactly the same.
This would probably be a good candidate for our next before and after.
Yes. Yes, I have to. I hope I have it before. Yeah.
All right, this is my next favorite project of 2020. This was done for Becky Wine of Wine Interiors. She's also the owner of Design Trade Resources here on the main line outside of Philadelphia. And just an overall great lady, very talented designer, and also a support resource for a lot of designers who don't carry their own libraries of fabrics and furniture and wallpaper and accessories and many other things. So she has a showroom on the main line with plenty of parking and beautiful merchandising and great selection. Yeah. So she is the one who hosted Luann and I, not in 2020, but in 2019 when Luann came down to Philadelphia to we did like like a very nice speaking event for Becky and her designers and that whole audience. Yeah. So Becky contacted us with this project, and if it doesn't look like it's challenging enough, we also turned it around within, like, I want to say, like, days, not even a week, like days.
Really?
That's how quickly it needed to be done. Yeah. So but we'll put the lead times aside and the whole planning, organization, project management of it. That's not what this show is about. We're going to try to focus on like visuals. Yeah, you see hives. It's just as I'm talking about it.
You see that, like, that's coming out lead time. That's a lead time hive right there, everybody.
I know, like wrinkles on my face. That's what happens.
If you ever see your window treatment specialist walking around like that, that's what you call lead time stress, right here, everybody.
Yes, this was one of those situations, but I mean, how unique is this? How amazing
it
to
came
have
out great.
Like that. It turned out beautiful. I mean, clearly this is a beautiful tent in a little girl's room. There's the whole Frozen theme, and there's like pillows inside and whatnot. But there's a one fabric on the top, then a contrasting fabric all around, then trim all around that, and yet another fabric along the whole tent. So I mean, the picture here speaks 1,000 words. This is just one of the most unique projects we've done ever. I mean, we have done another tent before, and this was our second one, I guess, maybe third, but still remains as unique as ever, and remains my favorite project of 2020.
Okay, I have like a ton of questions.
Oh boy.
Ooh, okay.
Need some water.
Yeah, is that the top? Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it what is it? Talk to us about it.
The round part is hard. It's made out of lightweight plywood, so it's hard, but it's not heavy. So it's the same type of plywood that one may use on shaped cornices or arched cornices, or a cornice that needs to go inside a curved, like a bow window. So it's pliable plywood. if that's a
there's that question.
Okay. So that's the round part, and the crown of it, the very top, that's just fabric, stretched taut to go towards the point. It kind of is like a pizza pie, so there's wiring on each slice of the pie. Now what happens when it's not suspended by the chain and it's just, thank you, Kim, flexi plies, that's what it's called. Kim, my SIG friend. Yes, thank you. So Yeah, and Kim, by the way, I did see your other comment about the mesh fabric and how you've always
Yeah, we'll
wanted to
get.
do it. So listen, next time you want to do some mesh fabrics, you can bring it to me. And hopefully I won't get any more wrinkles out of it now that, we know exactly what to do and how to do it and how much time it takes and really what needs to be done. Anyway, back to my little tent here. Anyway, so when it's not suspended by the chain, but it's kind of like flat on the table, it really does come down flat. It just all kind of collapses
Okay.
down. So it's the chain that holds it up and creates this shape. Okay. And also another thing to kind of remember, everything inside is also finished. So it's not like you're seeing the beautiful fabrics on the outside and then it's just
You have it
plywood,
all.
even the lining on the inside. I mean, it's really nicely finished all around.
And then did you stir like the actual like body of the tent? It's just
Yeah, it's
fabric shirred.
Yep, it's kind of, I mean, it's not like if you think of shirring as in like gathering on the rod, it's not quite
No,
there because
yeah,
it's not a rod, but it's like there's small pleats that are attached
they're
all around.
little, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the picture, the like top crown looks so perfectly straight and smooth.
Mm-hmm. So the crown is smooth. It's just the fabric that around that is, we'll call it shirred,
like,
gathered,
that's
but this one is very
incredible.
smooth. Yeah, it's kind of like a circus tent, right? I mean, if you think of the circus tent roof, it's very
Right.
stretched and taut. So
Mhm.
that's what we got here. So we have an
That
amazing
is
seamster
incredible.
here. His name is Boris. I mean, he's sewing away right here next door, just a couple of yards away from me. So he is incredibly talented, and he really stepped up to the challenge.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kudos
How
to you
can
guys.
this
That
not be
came
a
out
favorite,
great.
right? All right, go for it, Kim.
Okay. So this is a arched Roman shade that we made. This was made for Beth Diana Smith. You can't see in the photo here, but this was made for like a little office nook. So what they did was it is a niche on a second floor, and instead of it just being wasted space, Beth turned it into the homeowners. Since everyone's working from home nowadays, the homeowner needed a spot to for like a home office. So it's kind of just like her little ladies lounge niche, and it has an arch window. So we were able to do. At first, it was like, well, do we do panels? And then we cut off the arch, and we were going back and forth. I said, what do we do? What about if we did an arch top Roman shape? I mean, these are becoming like my favorites. We do them a lot lately.
The arch shape with the Roman shades.
Yeah, the arch top Roman shades. Like I
Nice.
feel like I'm doing them once a month.
Oh wow!
And yeah. All of a sudden, it's out of nowhere. It's like, oh, I'm like, well, we can do an arch top Roman shade there. And the key thing here is because with this arch, it operates with a clutch control, and it goes up. You could only obviously operate it to the straightest point. Now, when you're working with arch Romans, the key thing is to tell your workroom should know this, but to line up the board in which the mechanism that the clutch mechanism, line it up with the mullion of the window, so that this way you're not dealing with the board just going anywhere. So that's another key thing. That's
because this is not a blackout line shade, so you can see shade variations.
You can see through it, so you don't want to see like where the mullion is of the window, and then you're putting it down lower. So you have to get really specific as to we need to line it up here. And so that this way you just have the one shadow that gets created because of where the natural division between the arch and the rectangular window underneath.
And how is it installed? Is it installed, well, like where do the brackets go? Under the arch portion or under the straight portion?
So for this one, we actually had to make it a little bit wider than the window frame because this window naturally had rosettes where the arch met up. So yeah, it had the hole. So it was a little funky. So I believe that Billy put it where he probably put a couple of L's where the arch is to give it support up the top so that it hugged at the top, and then he probably put some on the straight part as well.
Nice,
just
right.
to really give support.
We recently did an inside mount shade for
Mhm.
Lisa Hayes, actually, from this company called Shammerhorn in Kansas City. So it was one of our few projects. Now, we're full service here in the Philadelphia area, meaning that we measure, fabricate, install, project manage, engineer, work with interior designers on site to do everything. But Lisa heard me on somewhere, maybe on this podcast even. And so she contacted me, and we did a very similar Roman shade for her, and we just shipped it over to Kansas City. The difference between ours and this is that ours was inside mounted. So it's not like
Mhm.
we could have easily dropped in some brackets under the straight part of the shade.
Mhm.
That's where the glass went.
You
So
had
a
to go
little
up.
tip here, what we did was we attached the shade to the straight part of the board, and we created a Velcro along the arch shape. And so what happens, the shade, then the arched portion of the shade flipped down. The installer could
Mhm.
just drill inside the window, and then that arched shade fabric went back up on Velcro. So that's how we handled
Nice.
that inside mounted situation.
Very nice.
All right. Okay, and here our last project, my last favorite installation of 2020 is this. Now, guess what? Guess what room this is? Can you tell? Like, if you were like real quickly, what is this? Yeah, I have to look. So I'll tell you what it is.
Sorry, I was getting a phone call.
No, it's all right.
uh, is it a game room?
It's a master closet, Kim.
Oh, that was going to be my next guess. Now that I'm looking
It's
at it,
not
looking
an
at it, so I don't want you
office.
guys to
It's
look.
a closet, people.
Wow. Okay,
Closet.
let's
It's
hear
a
about this.
closet.
Let us
Yes.
hear about this.
So this was a closet. Now I have to give credit to the pictures. The photos were done by Milex. Well, actually, all the work in this house, as well as this closet, was done by the company called Milex Construction. I know, Kim. What the what? So Milex Construction is also one of the leading construction general contracting companies here, especially in Bucks County. So they were the ones who really took care of this like amazing house everywhere. And yeah, they did this whole closet. So, and I also borrowed the photographs
Someone's
from them
home, or
too.
is this a home or a model?
This is a home.
I mean, even if it was a model, whatever, because it would be a home. Would be wow. That talk
Home.
about closet goals.
Exactly. Right. Hashtag closet goals. I know. I mean, this is
I
crazy.
want one like
This is
that.
just amazing. I mean, I know, I do too. So this was just an incredible project to be a part of. Now, our portion, wasn't hugely extensive. There were shades. Those were roller shades from Hunter Douglas, as well as valances that we fabricated. But just the way it came out, the whole thing just really makes me go, wow, what an amazing.
Right.
Yeah, okay, Helser Brothers, what hardware do you use to make arched Roman shades? What hardware? So I wouldn't say it's hardware. We actually use that, Kim, what was it called? Plexifly? Or it's like a flexible plywood, essentially, the one that you can curve, and then you put the arch board, you put a straight board, and then you attach shade on top of that.
And you always need a template too.
Yeah,
You're going to need it,
exactly.
especially if it's an inside. I mean, anything inside mount, outside mount, you're going to need it. You're going to need to have a template made for it.
Right.
I'm very fortunate that I have the ability to make all of mine.
This is what
Very nice.
On Instagram, I gotta move closer. So this is what our valances look like here. We did exactly what Window Works calls it the Vita Valance. Oh, I see Mimi. Yes, Mimi, do you remember this valance? We did this for Window Works showroom, right? This one we even took to the next level. I think if for you, we just took one fabric and stepped it down. This was contrasting fabric. Right, we have just banding. This was actually contrasting fabric. So this was contrasting fabric along the front edge, along the leg, and along the bottom skirt. And it's probably difficult to see, but there's also contrasting piping at the top as well. I just love this balance. Thank you, honey. So I, first of all, I love the style. We do it all the time, obviously if it's appropriate. But in just this particular case, knowing what a beautiful closet this was, let me just go back.
Yeah.
Like these valances, they just made such a, I want to say, don't say impact. I mean, I think this whole closet is one big impact, but they just fit right in, and they were just really, really Skirtex. All right, thanks, Jamie. There it is. We can
Yes.
also use Skirtex too. Anyway, like these valances, I mean, they were just like a perfect addition, perfectly tailored, perfect fabric, perfectly fit. Also had to take like, go back 10 times to make sure, because there's so many moldings, and uh, um, the frames had so many like
Yes.
what do you call them, the ebbs and flows in
Different
the
levels.
moldings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to make sure that everything was done right there. And of course, you're not seeing it here, but speaking of arches, and Kim, you and I didn't plan this, but the center valance is an arch too. So there we had to do the template. We had to make sure that it fits just right, and all that, the whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, I didn't have a close up of the of the arched valance, but you can kind of see it a little bit. So there's two side valances, which is what the close-up was. There's also another valance on this side. We did cushions, we did pillows for this. You know what? Come think of it, I really need to go back and photograph it for myself.
You should.
And maybe submit it to the Envision Award for next year or something. I don't know. Because I mean, my God, what an amazing room, right?
So wait, so the middle one, because of the ceiling detail, like, so you're saying the middle valance goes, it's even higher, so it's like two lower windows and the center one is higher, and that one happens to be arched?
That's correct. So the coffer ceiling that you're seeing, that's in the center of the room. By the time the room kind of goes back towards the windows, the ceiling goes up. Right. The ceiling level is higher.
We need to take a picture of that. We need
to
see it.
We need to see the close up of this. I know. It's like this is almost not doing, I mean, as impressive as it is, I'm realizing that this is not doing it justice at all.
You're selling yourself a little short here. You need to go up a little higher.
I don't think I've ever been accused of selling myself short. I mean, I have many negative sides, but this is not one of them.
No, but like, I want to see it. And I'm sure everybody else wants to see it too.
Thank you. This was, this was a good reminder. This is actually, did the valance have legs? If so, how long were they? Jamie, yes, they did. Let me go back. So this is my my close-up right here. So all of this, Jamie, yes, this valance does have legs. It's one of my favorite ways of doing these valances. It's kind of like a hybrid between a valance and the cornice, because as we know, cornice is super tailored and very stiff, and valance is much softer because it just has the top, whereas this is a hybrid, has the top dust cap, and then it has these legs. And when I'm going for a really tailored look and feel and the whole impression, then I usually go with this style, and then I wrap the fabric taut around those legs, and I will also finish everything off with piping. So hopefully that answers your question, Jamie.
We had never really seen a valance like this before till we met Vita a couple years ago. So now we've coined it. Here we call it the Vita valance.
And I was so happy. So Mimi and I and several other designers, we participated in your contest. Kim, remember when you guys had several groups of designers create
we had a showdown.
That's right. And Mimi and I won. Yeah. We should have had that picture of Mimi and I standing with our board. I still have that, Mimi.
Oh no, your board is behind me, but the samples are starting to fall off. So
no worries. No worries. All right, let me just move off of spotlight on me and my closet. See how I just appropriated it?
Put it out there. Put it out there.
Right. I promise I will go back. When things kind of settle down and we can see people in person and bring photographers, I will go back. This was a wonderful client, by the way. Super. I mean, obviously, very affluent and with means, but also very, very nice and very appreciative. And we did a lot of amazing things there. So to do, photograph this house.
We will. I will remember, and I'm sure everyone else out there watching will remember. We're going to want to see that window. We're going to talk about it. We can do that on. We can have an episode of challenging windows, because
we should. I think we did. We can have it. We can do one more. We can do many more.
Okay. So with that being said, This is the end of our episode. So these are just the little tidbits of some of our favorites. They're not necessarily all of our favorites, because then we could be here all afternoon talking about window treatments. But for those of you who are for those of you who are new to the window treatment, yeah, really don't. Who are new to the window treatment game, on their WindowWorks website, we have a free ebook for you that Luann wrote. It's Architectural Digest is Incoming 10 Things You Need to Know About Custom Window Treatments. So it really just kind of gives you an intro into what the window treatments are, how to pick, how to select, and all that good stuff.
Yes, Helser Brothers, I agree. Let's talk window treatments all day long. Hopefully, when IWCE is back, right, we can do that for 3 days straight.
Woohoo! I hope so. Can't wait.
Can't wait to see people in person and hug and just shake hands and. Anyway, the free gift from us, from Vitalia Inc., is called 37.5 Window Treatment Ideas to Use Immediately. Swipe, steal, and make your own on your next design project. It is a free gift, a free lookbook that I put together for any designers looking for ideas, inspiration, something to use to show their clients and to know for themselves what is possible out there and what ideas exist out there. So feel free to go on my website, vitaliainc.com, and claim yours, and it will be instantly emailed to you from me.
And above all, we would not be here without this super lady.
That's right.
And so we would not. And so Luann Niagara Live is happening virtually this year, but it is happening. Woohoo!
Super excited.
There's a lot of great things in store. I cannot share any of it. I am so sorry.
You've been sworn to secrecy.
I have, sorry. But I know that from just a lot of the behind the scenes things that I am seeing, it is going to be a great 3 days. So it is starting February 2nd until the 4th. Head on over to Luann's website. There are different tiers. If you want to be a VIP and all that good stuff, please, please, please do yourself a favor and really sign up for this. And you're going to get a really great jam-packed conference, virtual conference. You're not going to want to miss it.
I'm going. I got my ticket. And listen, I've been to, I mean, every conference under the sun, and still, and yet I go to more, and I always look for more and additional opportunities to improve myself. And even if you walk away with one, two, three nuggets, one nugget, one little tidbit, I mean, it can change your life, your business in 2021. And who wouldn't want that? So exactly. Luann Live, LuannNiagara.com, and lots of information there. So definitely make sure to check it out. My calendar is blocked February 2nd through February 4th. I'm booking no appointments. I'm doing no work. I'm plugged into what needs to be done. I'm listening. I'm doing whatever it needs to be done for myself, for my business, for Luann, supporting her, and just really, really looking forward to it.
And the best part is, since it's virtual, you can be in your pajamas. You don't have to worry about I know when we go to these conferences and we go to High Point, we get all dressed cute. You don't even have to do that. You sit there, no makeup, drinking your coffee or your tea, and really, really getting ready to learn.
Really plugging in. All right. So in conclusion, if you guys want to get a hold of me, if you want to get in touch with Vitalia Inc., if you're a designer in the market for a new, an additional, or an alternative window treatment resource, I would love for you to give us a try. We are the type of company that is a one-stop shop. We position ourselves as a go-to resource exclusively for interior designers, where we do comprehensive window treatment service, meaning fabrication, installation, measurement, project management, engineering, everything that goes into window treatments. We are that support personnel for the designers in our area and beyond. So please contact us if you're looking to have your back, always to have your back kind of handled and just supported with window treatments. Would love to be that company for you.
Okay, and if you are in the New Jersey or New York area, please contact us here at WindowWorks. We would love to help you on your next window treatment and awning project. I deal with the window treatment side of things, and then we have Rich and JC who are awning experts that would be able to help you with your exterior projects, also with your hard treatments and such. And we also have a showroom here. So I know a lot of times going into different showrooms right now is a little tough in COVID, but we are open. So if you want to shop for fabrics or anything, please give our office a call, and we would be happy to set up an appointment for you here in our showroom. We'd really love to see you and help you out with your next project.
All right, you guys, this completes our first episode of 2021. We hope that you enjoyed it. We're here every Friday, Kim and I, we say if it's Friday at 12 o'clock noon, it must be
WTF.
Window Treatment Friday Live. So join us here every Friday on Facebook, on Instagram, 12 noon. We're here to answer your questions, to hear your comments, send us your emojis, or if you can't make it live, watch it in replay on either on Facebook or Instagram TV. Either way, would love to support you on all of your window treatment needs.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.